Okay, so we're going to try this again, guys. So basically, what I was saying earlier before I got an interruption was this, that there is a critical and extreme fire risk out in the panhandle of Oklahoma from basically Buffalo all the way out to the panhandle, the end of the panhandle. Also, there is a critical fire risk today from Sublet up to Garden City, Nest City, Scott City, in that area. So that being said, our main focus is going to be on the upcoming weather event that potentially could occur, and that is going to be on Friday. And so we're going to take a look at the models here real fast. We're going to switch over here, and we will go to the model data. Maybe, if I can get over there. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so we're all right. So this is going to be early morning on Saturday morning. So technically, things can fire off relatively early. This is all what we call EHI, 0 to 3 kilometer EHI. We see the cold front here, and there's going to be a dry line set up. That's basically going to be where this is bowing right here. We can take and verify that, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. If we go to the surface and we look at the dew points, keep in mind where this line is going to be and where this line is going to be, and we will verify that with the temperatures and the dew points. So with that being said, here's your cold front draped across here, and here is your dew point line. So anything basically west of Highway 81, which basically runs straight up and down through here, has the potential for severe weather. The however comma to that is going to be, and I'm going to bring it up here. We got to go to the severe weather tab, but I'm going to show you what is going to inhibit this for the largest portion of the day. And that is this cap. And it is strong. I mean, the further south you go, the heavier it gets. So not so bad up here in north central Oklahoma, where you get negative 78s around Waukeeta, Medford, Palm Creek, Deer Creek, Lamont, even up into Anthony, Kansas, and southern Kansas along that cold front. And then also out here in Ellis County and that area. And so this is surface-based convective inhibition, or CIN, C-I-N. If we go to the mixed layer, let's take a look at it and see what it's saying. Sorry, my computer is a little bit slow. But up in the upper levels, it's not quite as bad as it would be down at the lower level. So basically, if you were to take and put a and I'm going to come back over here to WSV real quick. So let me get back over here so that you can see me. So basically, if you took a lid and put it on the atmosphere and you held that lid tightly down, okay, basically what has to happen is all of that moisture, all of that instability has to take and push up and push that lid off and remove it. Let me get my hands over here, remove it, so that there is no more cap. If that cap, that explosive initiation, is what causes those thunderstorms to blow up through there, and that's where you get these storms. I will tell you this, that if the storms can develop, okay, and we're going to look at that here in just a second. We're going to look at the winds. We're going to go 500 millibar heights at this time, right now. And we're going to back it up a little bit. But shear is going to be pretty strong along through here. Okay, we've got, there's 20, 30, 35 knots. But let's back this up a little bit. Let's go to a forecast loop. And here you see all of the heavy winds out here. Okay, it's going to start at the very beginning, and we're going to advance it step by step and you can see there's a small jet streak down here. Now, I want you to notice something as well, and this is part of the problem. So, look at the directions of the winds here. The winds are coming out of the east and northeast, and they're pretty strong. And that's all because of a system that is down here. So, it is rotating counterclockwise. All right? So, it's going to the from right to left, and you have other stuff that's coming in from left to right. And so those two are going to hate each other. And so, like I said, if storms can happen, they're going to be few and far between. If they do happen, they're also going to be very strong. And they're going to rotate. And they're going to have an all hazards tag with that. And so we need to pay attention to it. Like I said before, we don't want to, overreact. We just want to be conscious of these things and understand that there is a potential. They've already got a 15% out. I'll show you that here in just a second. But we're going to advance this, and here comes the system. Notice how that the winds progress up to the northwest of this system. See all of these winds coming sweeping in? So the wind's going to come out of the northeast and blow to the southwest. Okay? Here it comes. Kind of gets obliterated a little bit. Winds go wacky. All right? So this is Thursday. Okay? The system really starts to magnify here. That's Friday at 14Z. Here's 16, 17, 18, 19. So that's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 2 o'clock. No, excuse me. There is 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock in the evening. So 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. It kind of dies down a little bit. All right. However, that's at 500 millibars. Come down to the 850 millibar, and remember I explained that not too long ago. Basically, that's about 4,000 or 5,000 feet above the ground. Okay, let's see what happens here. And for some reason, there we go. It didn't switch over like it was supposed to. I don't know why, but that's okay. All right. All right, so here we go. Down low, the winds are out of the south-southeast, right? Look what happens here. So this thing amplifies as it gets closer to, now this is Thursday, so we still got to get into Friday. Really, really ramps up. And then kind of takes off and heads off to the northeast. However, look what happens. These are winds down low. All right. So there is Friday at 01Z. Notice those bright red colors coming in. So that's shear above the ground. And so we're looking 40, 50 knots of shear up here in central Kansas and south central Kansas, and then north central Oklahoma. So 49 to 52 knots. And so the wind speeds down below probably going to be somewhere around 25 to 35 mile per hour. Okay, so let me go back up to this because I want to show you this, what is going to be a big problem. See this blue streak? This is up at the 500 millibars. So this is up 35, 40,000 feet, right? You got 40 knots of wind that are coming in. I'm going to put this in motion again, and you're going to watch this move off to the northwest. So there it goes. It's making its push. Coming up, winds are still out of the northeast, moving southwest at that altitude. So basically, you've got a collision. Most people think, oh no, collision, of two different systems and whatever, that's going to be bad news for weather. That's not true. So in this instance, this is creating a block down here. And so whenever we were looking at the severe weather side of it, and I don't think you guys were able to see it, that convective inhibition that was available earlier. So let's get over here. Let's go to, say, double OZ, which would be 7 p.m., okay, on Saturday. So Friday. They're basically, the cap is pretty much gone, okay? There's a few patchy areas, and basically what this is saying is this is where storms are going to initiate. So let's compare that with what's going on with the reflectivity. So we need to come back over here, and we can take and just go reflectivity basically with updraft helicity, and look at that. Exactly where that high level of convective inhibition, or SIN, okay, is showing up. This is basically showing that there's going to be storms developments. There are some helicity tracks along with this that moves up through south central Kansas. And so it will be something that will need to be, more than likely what's going to happen is if we back this up a little bit, it's probably going to happen right about, what is the name of that town right there? I've seen a tornado there. Oh, man. It's not on the top. It's not on my tongue right now. Anyhow, so basically just north of Buffalo in that area. I can't remember the name of the town in Kansas. Let me pull that up real quick, and maybe I can help you out. So give me 1 second. Because I don't like leaving things out like that. Okay, so that is going to be if I can get the Protection, Ashland and Protection, Kansas. So around that area, storms are probably going to form, and it's going to be probably right about an hour or so before sunset. And again, like I said, there'll be rotating storms. So that doesn't mean that they can't develop down here in Oklahoma. As a matter of fact, you see some that are out just up around Buffalo, Freedom, in areas there. And they're going to move off to the northeast. They're going to track, obviously, along the dry line, which is going to be draped here. I showed you that just a little bit ago, but like I said, I don't think that you were able to see that. So let's go back here to the surface again, and let's look at the dew points. And at 7 p.m. on Friday night, okay, here's the cold front. Boom, it's draped all the way across through here, comes up, swings up. You can see the dew points back behind there that are dry, obviously denoting that there is a dry line. Dry line isn't quite yet defined here. I mean, as far as a real strong dry line or a backed area for forcing for storms, okay? But as we go through the evening, here's 8 o'clock. Okay, it's starting to sharpen a little bit. Okay, keep going. A little bit more. Okay. 9 o'clock. Same thing. 10 o'clock. Now notice this nose of this moisture plume coming up, you've got dew points in the 60s. And so all of that is fuel. So air you can wear, basically, even into the evenings. Let's look at the temperatures and see what the temperatures are going to be. So 9, 10 o'clock at night, you're still looking at temperatures in the upper 60s. Back behind it, you get 40s. So pretty strong cold front. And the dry line back here, your temperatures are 60s as well. So let's look at the daytime heating. Let's go to, let's say 19. So you're looking high 80s. So, I mean, it's going to be boiling. I mean, boiling. So, and there's that cold front. You can see it draped across. It's going to move northwest to southeast across Kansas and make its way down the hill. So, it's definitely going to be something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. It's even picking up on the storms that are firing up there. So I would say that northwest Oklahoma is probably going to see some storms on Friday. And so that'll be the focus point for a lot of storm chasers. So there's going to be a lot of traffic out there if, in fact, it does happen. This is the NAM 3K. Obviously, we're still 3 days out. So, a lot can change in 3 days. And so, but I will tell you this, that as of right now, and I want to take and switch over there real fast. So give me 1 second. I think we can take and do that. Y'all have probably been watching the weather anyways, but we'll go with a day 3. And so basically, just like I said, here's Highway 81, and it's showing, look at drawing the line with a dry line, which we were tracing a while ago. Basically, anything to the east of that dry line, basically running straight up and down Highway 81. So the slight risk is basically anywhere east of that or west of that, all the way over into eastern Oklahoma, and all the way up into south and southeast Kansas, and then north central Texas. So I won't read all of the nomenclature and everything else, but the main thing is this is an area of concern that the SPC has looked at, and so it will definitely be something that we want to keep an eye on. And so I will try my best to give y'all updates throughout the rest. Now, I want to do something else too. Let's look at the fire danger for day 1. Day 2, it kind of expands a little bit. Definitely western Kansas, a portion of northwest Oklahoma, New Mexico, southeast Colorado on day 2. So that's going to be Thursday, tomorrow. And so something that you'll need to be watching for as well. We know the rules with that. Look at the temperatures out there, 90 degrees. That's right now. That's not 3 days from now. That's right now. So it is dry. And so, not only that, there should not be any burning. I don't even care even if you're not in that orange or that yellow today, tomorrow, or the next day for sure. And if you don't get any rain, the storms don't form, then you don't want to be burning, period. And so I know that there were several wildfires going on. And so basically not a good situation to be in. And so I didn't switch over to the deal, but y'all can see there. I don't have to go into detail about it. Y'all can see already that it is hot out west. And so, yeah, I've got the weather going right now. And something else I want to show you here real quick. Let's take a look at the wind barbs before we take and get off of this. So here's the winds. Winds are blowing. 20 knots over around Enid, 20 knots around Anthony, Kansas. Let's see what we got here. 25 out there by Ellis County. probably Gage. Same thing for Liberal, out in between Liberal and Elkhart. Anthony and Arias, Platte, Kansas. Look at this. Dodge City, 30 knots. So it's a screaming. Screaming, screaming, screaming. Let's check out the wind gust. See if we can get wind gust. I don't know if we can or not. Probably not. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here, guys. And be watching for the next update. And Lord willing, we'll do her tomorrow. And so maybe have some other news for you by then. So we'll talk to you later. Hope you enjoyed the streams. Be sure to share, like, subscribe, notification bell, do all of that cool stuff so that we can get this news out to everybody else up there in North Central Oklahoma and South Central.